$25,000 house payment, down payment assistance for first-time homeowners, a $6,000 expanded child tax credit. I'm curious if either you or Chair Delblanc can speak to, are these provisions that your members can run on back home, or is it better for House Democrats to just speak to the economy more broadly, or speak to the accomplishments that you all achieved in the last Congress? How specific should members be getting around these provisions that Vice President Harris is making on the campaign trail, given you all will be governing partners with her if you take back the majority and if she's to win the election?
We love it. We love it. We embrace it. This needs to be a conversation about how we lead our country moving forward. And you do that by talking about policy that you can implement to make a difference in people's lives. The policies that you referenced, the first-time homeowner tax credit and the child tax credit expansion, those are policies that House members have led on in the past. And Susan Delblanc has been a leader on the child tax credit as well, and I'm going to ask her to speak. But these are things, of course, we need to talk to the American public about what we have done, what we have accomplished together with the Biden-Harris administration. Record number of job creation, Inflation Reduction Act, bipartisan common sense bills, including the infrastructure bill, CHIPS and Science Act, those pieces. But we need to talk aspirationally about what we want to accomplish if we're given the opportunity to lead. And I think that's where these policies matter. They matter to families who are seeing these rising costs, and these families who feel that home ownership is just beyond their grasp and that they're not going to be able to get there. These are real things in people's lives. And so I do think we should talk about them. I think that we have. House members have led on these issues, and I think it's made its way into the course of this presidential race, which has been helpful to us as we talk about ideas to help families.
Also, as a huge supporter of the expanded child tax credit, this is an issue we've been talking about even since the American Rescue Plan, about renewing that, keep it that policy going forward. We saw the incredible impact, cutting childhood poverty across the country almost in half. Imagine what we can do if we have that policy back and we keep it going, what that means for the long-term future for our kids all across the country, for families, for our communities. Fiscally responsible when we make investments in kids when they're young. It has an incredible impact on our communities overall. Childhood poverty costs us $1 trillion. So when we talk about specific policies like that, we can talk about what we're doing to build a strong future. We can talk about fiscal responsibility and how these investments that we make give us an incredible return for our communities and for our country. And that's yet another example of how we approach legislating and what we want to do to make a difference in the country. Next year, as a Ways and Means member, I'll say next year is going to be a big tax year. And we have to look comprehensively at tax policy, but there are definitely key policies that are critically important. Housing is very, very important across the country, an important issue of affordability, but absolutely the expanded child tax credit is another key policy, and we have data that shows how powerful it can be and how it works. And so we actually want to govern and help support working families, help support and strengthen the middle class, and examples really kind of help describe exactly what we're going to do. But I know Congresswoman Hayes also wanted to talk about what it means in a frontline district like hers.
Yes, I just wanted to say that even in a district like mine that is considered a frontline district, the policies that you just mentioned are very popular. Things like home ownership. When we see that one of the number one issues is the rising cost of housing across my district, it is very popular to have a credit. The child tax credit is something that we tried to make permanent. People were very excited when we had the temporary child tax credit. In Connecticut, our state implemented a similar but much smaller credit, but it's a proposal that is very popular, the credits for small businesses. These are things that say to people in my district, we hear you, and we're responding to your needs. A lot of the policy proposals that we have are really high level, but these are hyper local kitchen table issues that help people really support and care for their families. So when I'm asked about it at home, I am very open about, yes, I support these policies, and I would do whatever I can to help make sure that we are working to implement policies that mirror these proposals, or, put forth these proposals, because it would help working families to afford everyday costs that people are talking about every time we're out on the campaign trail.
As Chairman Aguilar said, Democrats embrace the opportunity economy that Kamala Harris has put out, from the child tax credit to lowering housing costs and taking on corporate price gougers to lower food costs. It's important to contrast that also with Donald Trump. Leading economists have said his tariffs policies would increase inflation and harm our economy. And then look at his recent answer to how he would lower food costs. He said he would increase prices on imported foods. Let's just think about that for a second. There's a bunch of imported foods in our grocery stores: fruits, canned goods. A lot of stuff is imported. And Donald Trump specifically said he's going to raise those costs. That's insane. And if you contrast the two policies, it's clear that Kamala Harris has a much better economic policy that's going to help middle-class families.
Last question.